For thousands of years, our ancestors relied on vegetables that today you may have never even heard of. These crops fed peasants during famine, sustained armies on long marches, and anchored diets in villages where survival depended on diversity. Yet, in the last century, industrial agriculture narrowed our choices. Out of the thousands of plants once cultivated, only a small fraction now dominates the global food supply. Entire vegetables nearly vanished, remembered only in fragments of folklore, seed bank archives, or the kitchen gardens of rural families who quietly refused to let them go extinct. The good news is that some of these forgotten vegetables are still alive. They can be grown today, often with less effort and more resilience than the modern hybrids we see in supermarkets. For anyone passionate about history, heritage and self-reliance, these vegetables are more than food. They are living links to the past. And if you learn to grow them, you'll be reviving skills and flavours almost lost forever. Let's uncover 10 of the most remarkable survival vegetables from history, explore how they nearly disappeared, and learn how you can bring them back into your own garden. Skirret was the sweet root of medieval Europe. Before the potato conquered European tables, skirret was a staple in cloister gardens and peasant stews. This white, sweet root grows in clusters, much like parsnips, but with a delicate flavour that cooks described as a cross between a carrot and a sunchoke. Skirret almost vanished because it was fiddly to harvest and prepare compared to potatoes, which store and transport easily. Yet skirret thrives in cool, damp soil, needs little maintenance and produces a winter harvest when other vegetables are scarce. Old texts like John Gerard's Herbal of 1597 praise its sweetness. Gardeners today can still find heirloom seeds from heritage seed networks and reintroduce this medieval staple to their plots. Salsify, a root vegetable with thin white flesh, was prized in Victorian kitchens for its mild, oyster-like flavour. Once common in European markets, it faded in the 20th century as palates shifted and faster-growing crops won favour. Salsify is hardy, able to grow in poor soil where other vegetables fail, and it stores well underground through the winter. Modern preppers and gardeners can rediscover it, not just for novelty, but for resilience. Its purple-flowered cousin, scorzonera, is also edible and even more robust. Both are still available through specialty seed companies waiting to be revived in survival gardens. Good King Henry was the spinach that refused to die. Long before spinach dominated, peasants in Europe grew Good King Henry, a perennial green that returned year after year without replanting. It was known as poor man's asparagus because its young shoots were eaten like asparagus tips, while its leaves served as spinach substitutes. Its decline came with industrial farming, which favoured annual crops that fit neatly into seed sales and mechanised planting. Yet Good King Henry remains one of the most self-reliant vegetables you could grow. Once established, it thrives for decades, providing a constant supply of nutrient-rich greens with almost no effort. In China, Celtis was cherished for centuries, but it nearly vanished in the West. Sometimes called stem lettuce, it offers both tender salad leaves and a thick, nutty-flavoured stem that can be stir-fried or pickled. Western farmers overlooked it because it didn't fit the narrow definition of lettuce they preferred for uniform heads. Today, heirloom Celtis is making a comeback among adventurous growers. It matures quickly, tolerates poor soil, and provides 2 crops in one. For anyone seeking to expand food resilience, Celtis is both practical and historically significant. In medieval kitchens, every plant had to earn its keep. Hamburg parsley was valued because both its roots and leaves were edible. The roots resemble parsnips but taste strongly of parsley, while the greens serve as flavourful herbs. It faded in the modern diet because farmers selected parsley mainly for garnish and flavouring, not as a root crop. Yet Hamburg parsley is still grown quietly in Eastern Europe, where it is added to soups and broths as a dual-purpose staple. Gardeners can reclaim it by sowing in early spring and treating it as both an herb and a root vegetable. Sea kale, native to the British coast, was so highly prized in the 18th and 19th centuries that it was grown in walled gardens and blanched under clay pots like asparagus. Its decline came as shipping introduced new vegetables and labour-intensive blanching made it less profitable. Sea kale is a perennial that tolerates salty, sandy soils, and it was one of the first vegetables protected by law in England to prevent overharvesting in the wild. With its thick shoots and edible leaves, it is a survival food of coastal heritage that can still thrive today, especially in neglected or marginal soils. While potatoes and quinoa became global staples, another Andean treasure nearly disappeared: yacon. This root, crisp and sweet like an apple, was grown for centuries as both food and medicine. Colonization and export markets, however, favoured potatoes, pushing yacon to the margins. Today, yacon is being rediscovered for its health benefits as it contains prebiotic compounds that nourish beneficial gut bacteria. It grows well in temperate zones, producing large tubers beneath tall sunflower-like plants. For survivalists, yacon offers a high-yield, storage-friendly carbohydrate source once overlooked. Mashua, another Andean tuber, produced brightly coloured flowers and peppery-tasting roots that peasants relied on in times of scarcity. Its downfall was its pungent taste, which paled compared to the milder potato. Yet Mashua thrives in harsh conditions, resists pests naturally and produces a dependable crop even on poor soils. Modern research shows it contains compounds with medicinal properties. For those willing to embrace stronger flavours, Mashua is one of the hardiest survival vegetables available. In hot, humid climates, regular spinach fails, but Malabar spinach, native to Asia and Africa, flourished. This climbing vine produces thick, glossy leaves that stay edible throughout summer heat waves. It nearly vanished from Western diets because it wasn't a true spinach and didn't fit market expectations. But in survival terms, Malabar spinach is honestly indispensable, offering greens in the exact season when most cool weather crops bolt. Chayote, sometimes called vegetable pear, was once a common survival food in Central America. It provided not only a mild, starchy fruit, but also edible shoots and leaves. Colonization and the dominance of more uniform squashes pushed it aside, though it never disappeared completely from rural diets. Chayote vines produce abundantly, often yielding dozens of fruits per plant. They store well and can be grown vertically, making them space-efficient for survival gardens. What was once nearly lost is now a resilient staple waiting for modern revival. They remind us that history is not just written in books, but in the foods that nourished generations. Skirret, salsify, Good King Henry and the others were almost lost, not because they lacked value, but because the world forgot how to grow and use them. Now gardeners and history enthusiasts have the chance to bring them back. By planting these heirlooms, you're not only reviving old flavours, but also reclaiming resilience, diversity and independence from the narrow choices of industrial agriculture. Don't let these vegetables slip away again. Grow them, share them, and keep their story alive. And if this journey into forgotten foods inspired you, make sure to subscribe to In the Beginning for more deep dives into survival history. Share this with others who value heritage and resilience, because the vegetables that nearly vanished might just be the ones that save us in the future.